Hi YouTube, Felicia here. Thanks so much for coming back to my channel. This is part 4 of the PUPPS video. And today I want to talk to you guys about my personal experience with the dreaded PUPPS rash. Alright, so let's get started. So thinking back on all the events that transpired leading up to the rash, I remember being very itchy throughout my entire pregnancy. So what this means is I remember being very itchy starting like at bedtime when I would get comfortable in my bed and start drifting off to sleep. For some reason I just start getting itchy like everywhere, mostly in my legs. I remember a lot mostly in my legs. I would also get itchy like random times of the day, usually when I would wear like tight clothing, especially stockings, anything that was kind of like tight on the skin. But I remember a lot of it was focused on my legs. So I remember telling my midwife about how itchy I was. She did a couple of blood tests just to make sure I didn't have cholestasis or things like that could be harmful during my pregnancy. But everything seemed to come back normal. So I kind of just dealt with it the best way that I could. I kind of just tried drinking more water, staying hydrated, wearing looser clothing. I made sure I took my vitamins, everything like that. So then around 28 weeks of my pregnancy, I ended up in the hospital for an unexpected complication. A story for another time. And during my stay, I was there for about 3 weeks. About 5 days into my stay, maybe a week later, I started developing both of my legs, on my thighs specifically. I had like a red, just kind of like rash. It wasn't itchy at first at all. I just noticed that there was a small patch of rash on both of my thighs. Then I kind of ignored it. The next day, it basically began spreading. It got a little bit bigger. So that's when I brought it to the attention of my OBGYN, my nurse, the team of doctors that was taking care of me at the time. And they kind of looked at it and they didn't think much of it. They asked me a bunch of questions. Was it itchy? Blah, blah, blah. Then basically as the days went on, it got bigger and kept spreading. And then it began to get very itchy. So my team kept checking on it. And as it became itchy, they basically they didn't become concerned. They just kind of like wanted to figure out why I had this rash, what it was, and why it was spreading. From my legs, I remember it spreading to my arms. So around my forearm is where it started. Then it just kept like kind of spreading like around my arm, up my arms. It went all the way down my legs to my ankles, and then it came to my belly, which if you watched my previous videos, I do mention about the PUPPS rash, and it typically starts in the belly and it starts becoming itchy right away. So this was not typical for a PUPPS rash. So they kind of mentioned, my team mentioned PUPPS, but because of the presentation where it started, how it started, and because it wasn't initially itchy at first, it kind of just wasn't like matching up to what a typical PUPPS rash would look like. So they did, again, a bunch of blood tests. They tested for cholestasis and just a bunch of other things. Everything came back as good as can be, as healthy as I could be. So as time went on, over the course of the days and the weeks, it just kept spreading and becoming more and more intensely itchy. So the team gave me a bunch of different creams to try. I don't remember their names. It was basically topical steroids. It didn't work for me at all. Then, because the rash kept spreading and it kept becoming worse and worse, they did urge me to get a biopsy done just to try and differentiate between whether the rash was PUPPS or something that they were more concerned with, called PG, which stands for pemphigoid gestationis. It's a rare autoimmune disorder. I'll talk about it in a separate video, but basically it's very harmful to the pregnancy and to the mother herself. So they brought in a team of dermatologists to talk to me. At first, I did not want to go for the biopsy because one, I was kind of scared. I've never been in the hospital prior to being in the hospital for this pregnancy, and I was just, I felt very strongly that I had PUPPS. So they kind of talked to me. Eventually they did convince me to get the biopsy, so I did. And so I have a little scar on my left thigh from where the biopsy happened. But basically the results of the biopsy came to the result of me being diagnosed with PUPPS. So, we were all very, very surprised just because, according to research and what is known about the PUPPS rash currently, it typically does not start the way it had started for me, and it doesn't present as severe as it did in my case. As I mentioned, guys, I'm sorry, I do not have pictures of my rash. I was just not even thinking about documenting at all. I have one picture that is in another video I posted. I can post it again here just so you guys can see. It's on my leg, just how severe it does look. So basically with this rash, knowing that it was PUPPS, they did try and give me a couple of medications. They tried a different topical steroids. They didn't give me anything oral. I kind of just wanted to try and deal with it the best way I can. So I kind of tried just like natural things. I was stuck in the hospital, so I was very, very limited to the things that I could try. But I was on the phone a lot with my family, just telling them to bring me different kinds of things because I wasn't allowed to leave the hospital, obviously. So in my previous videos, I do talk about what I did try. I'll sum it up for you quickly right now. I tried, I did take Benadryl like once or twice. It didn't help at all. It just kind of knocked me out so that I can sleep, because I was losing a lot of sleep because of how uncomfortably itchy this rash was. I tried a bunch of different like lotions and creams. The best thing that did work for me was the Aveeno eczema therapy. I tried drinking V8 juice, the original tomato V8 juice. So I had my my sister, my boyfriend, my family basically just keep bringing me the big jugs. I would just like keep chugging all day, just like cups of this juice, because in blogs that I've read, a lot of women claim to have this work for them. So I was just like chugging it like all day. Didn't didn't work for me. I tried also this soap. Somehow it's supposed to work. It's called Grandpa's Pine Tar. It's basically like a piney, like a man smelling type of soap in the shower. Just wash with it. I mean, it kind of, I don't really remember too well. I don't think it didn't work that well. What else did I try? I tried cool therapy. I tried ice. I mean, it was extensively all over my body from like my neck down to my ankles. It went in places like ridiculous, all over my back. It was on my freaking butt. So like no matter where in what position I laid in, it was just itchy, just like extremely itchy. So the ice didn't work. It would relieve the itch for like as long as it was like on there, but as soon as I removed the ice and it started wearing off, it didn't last very long at all. Then I was on Google looking through a bunch of blogs again. I found this one blog. I don't remember the name of it. I'd have to like extensively search for it again. This woman who was also suffering from a severe case of it, she basically described hot water, just like getting in the shower, taking her shower head and just like burning the rash. That, ladies, I will tell you, is the only thing that worked for me. It is the only way I had relief from this rash. It was like, because I was suffering with it in a hospital bed, not even in the comfort of my own home, for weeks, it was like the best comfort I could have asked for. So when my team saw me after trying this the first time, they were kind of surprised at how relieved I looked. And I told them what I did. I mean, as medical professionals, they told me, obviously, they don't approve of it. They don't think that I should do it. They weren't concerned that I was gonna harm myself in any way. They were just concerned, especially the dermatologist. They just didn't want me to damage my skin. But obviously I am scar-free. Besides my biopsy, I don't regret it one bit. So basically, ladies, after I found this treatment, I was just in the shower every couple of hours a day, just doing this for myself. I would have to do it less and less as I kept doing it. It was lasting longer, the itch relief throughout the day. So I just kept doing this until eventually, spontaneously, I did go into labor. I gave birth, and the rash literally disappeared within like a few weeks to, I remember, maybe my daughter was in the NICU for 2 weeks, and I remember not even having the rash when she came from the hospital. So I mean, it works. That's my story, ladies. If you have any comments or questions, drop them in the comment section. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more content. Also in the comments, let me know what content you guys would like me to cover. I am going to be doing this channel focusing on my pregnant ladies out there and what advice you guys would like to know. Thanks so much for watching, guys, again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.